our dear viewers, and welcome to our show. Today we're going to be talking to you about foods or habits that actually make you gain weight around your belly area. Now we know that's a very common problem that a lot of both male and female, so all men and women really face here. And it's a big problem that we all tend to gain weight in our belly area. And if you want to avoid doing that, you need to avoid doing these things. So we're going to discuss some habits and some foods that actually make you gain weight, and they make the fat focus around your abdominal area. And the first thing we're going to talk about, of course, is sweets. So all these sweets and desserts that we have, they're really loaded with many things besides just sugar. So one of them being trans fats. Usually sweets, if we look at them, they last on our shelves for a very long time. And like I've told you in previous episodes, anything that you see has a long shelf life or doesn't really expire for a very long time, then you know that is probably something that is loaded with trans fat, because that's what really trans fats do. They prolong the shelf life of any food item. And that means that they also cause some form of stress or havoc on the body, making your body store so much more fat around your abdominal area. And then of course, sugar is one major culprit that will make you store fat around your abdominal area. So if that is your problem, try to cut out both trans fats and sugary food. So anything that's overly sweet, that's loaded with sugar, because it's that fructose. And then also make sure to look at the ingredient list and try to avoid anything that has high fructose corn syrup, because that will definitely contain a lot of that fructose, about 55% fructose, that will again make you store fat in your abdominal area. Now we've got so many more tips to cover for you, so please stay tuned. Welcome back, our dear viewers. So let's take a look at other foods that could make you store fat around your abdominal area. And one of them is following a low protein diet. So a lot of research has been conducted, and they've seen that people that tend to have low protein in their dietary habits, or they don't really tend to consume much protein every single day, will tend to have more abdominal fat. Now we used to think it's because they're probably focusing on consuming carbohydrates instead of the protein. But research has also shown that a type of protein, or the lean proteins that you eat that come from fish and chicken, can actually activate certain hormones that will melt fat in your abdominal area. Again, if this is a problem for you, try to focus on having more lean protein every single day. Things like eggs for breakfast or even whole grains. They will give you a good and decent amount of protein. Chicken and fish, those are very lean and they will give you a decent amount of protein also. If you are going to choose a red meat, just make sure it's a lean cut of red meat. Around 80% lean and 20% fat is a good ratio, especially for cooking. And this way, you will make sure you're activating these certain genes and these certain hormones that will diminish the fat around your abdominal area. And the other good news is research has found that certain gut bacteria, so again, these are the probiotics and the prebiotics that we were talking about many other episodes, they can actually play a huge role as to where you store your fat. And so research has shown that bacteria that feeds on sweets, so sugary food and junky food, those are the types of bacteria that will make you store fat around your abdominal area. Now, bacteria that comes from things like yogurt and fermented foods, so that's where the probiotics come into play, they actually regulate your hormones and they make you feel full, and they actually tend to push away that fat from your abdominal area. And not only do they do that, but they actually utilize your calories or the food you take in differently. So the bad bacteria that's in your gut could actually absorb extra calories, as opposed to the good bacteria, which will only use a certain number of calories and then make you utilize the rest for energy. So really, your gut flora and how your intestine and your colon feels will play a major role as to where you store your belly fat. So make sure you're including a lot of probiotics, so a lot of pickles and fermented foods and yogurt. Now stay tuned, we have a couple more tips for you. Welcome back, our dear viewers. So we talked about foods and how they could affect where your fat is stored in your body. But foods aren't the only culprit. So your lifestyle and the way you choose to live your life will actually play the biggest and even a major role in your abdominal fat. So what research has shown us that stress produces this hormone called cortisol, and cortisol stores fat in your abdominal area. So you really need to make sure you limit the amount of stress. And stress doesn't only come from anger or from stressing out at work or certain situations. Sleep is a major culprit of stress. So I know here in Kuwait, one of the biggest issues we face is we don't sleep enough and we don't get the right hours of sleep. With sleep, it's really important that you get somewhere between 6 to 8 hours of sleep a day. They should be consecutive hours, so not hours that are broken up, and then they should be at nighttime. So you really want to wake up by around 6 or 7 a.m. and that's where your 6 to 8 hours should end. Now, research has shown us that anything more than 6 to 8 hours or anything less than those 6 to 8 hours will actually promote that cortisol hormone, and therefore, even if you are eating a healthy diet, you will still tend to store some amount of abdominal fat. Exercise is also very important, so your physical activity and your mobility play a huge role because they will lessen that hormone cortisol. So try to have a balanced lifestyle by combining the right amount of food, so a lot of lean protein, probiotics, limiting your sugary and junky foods, and focusing on the more healthier ones with plenty of sleep and exercise will really work all together in helping combat that belly fat area, or where your fat is really stored. So really make sure you are combining a healthy lifestyle with all these food habits, consuming lots of lean protein, your probiotics, yogurt, all these healthy foods, staying away from the junky foods, and combined with physical activity and really good sleep, you should have the perfect combo to combat that belly fat area. So we really hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you all next time.